How's it going? It's me, Sasha, your favorite nerdy griffin, here to regale you with another tall tale about some Warhammer 40,000 stuff, which I know you all voted for because it was on my Twitter. Hello, Flora. How are you today? Um, so I actually have a whopping 6 pages of notes because the topic today, as you may have already guessed if you are familiar, and if not, I will tell you. The topic today is the word bearers. Who are the word bearers? We will get into that. But first, I will just give a preliminary warning. Today we'll deal with themes of religiosity and such, along with all the regular Warhammer 40,000 themes of fascism and and heretics and stuff like that. If you're familiar with 40K and you're tuning in specifically for it, yay! If that isn't your fancy, no shade, uh, uh, might I recommend looking elsewhere for your entertainment today. That being said, let us do a super quick review of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, just for those of you who may not be as familiar with it. We have the Imperium of Man, which has spread out into the universe and found out that the universe is very hostile uh, and would very much like to kill you and everyone you know and love. Um, the Imperium of Man is run by the God Emperor. Uh, very a very interesting fellow. He created what's known as the Space Marines. The picture beside me is actually an earlier version of the Space Marines, but I will get into that. Um, and the Space Marines, they have leaders called Primarchs. Each chapter slash legion of the Space Marines has a Primarch. They are the ones that the Emperor created to then lead his many Space Marine troops. Each Primarch is basically the best of the best of the chapter that they're from. Excuse me. They are what every other Space Marine within the chapter, within their respective chapters, aspires to be, as they are widely known to be the closest to the Emperor, short of the Emperor's own private, well, not private, but his bodyguards, the Legiones Custodes. But that's for another stream. Um, yeah. So, that being said, I am going to take a slight detour, but this is to set the mood, and I might have gotten a detail or two wrong, but we're just gonna play pretend for a moment. Just bear with me if I gloss over some details. I'm trying to develop a general picture of the situation, nothing more. We can parse things out after, and there will be lots of parsing. Do not worry. So, we are now going to dive into a metaphor to explain or try to convey some of the emotion that the upcoming situation that I will be describing contains. Pretend for a moment that you're in a cult, and your leader is the best friend you could ever ask for. He's the best guy in the world, helping you, your friends, family out when you need it, never asking for anything but your friendship and loyalty. Oh, sure, he demurs and says he isn't a god, but you, in your heart of hearts, know better. Your leader is just trying to make the world a better place. In fact, that's the cult's stated goal, its reason for existence. He's the nicest guy you ever met, and his playing demure does nothing to affect your fervent devotion and loyalty to him. Your cult is pretty large, but you've found a nice place to hide out, and before you know it, the world will be joining you in your worship. You find a group within the cult, a circle that all share your fervent devotion, and you form a camaraderie. Your goal is to spread the word of your leader to everyone who doesn't believe. Let them know about the best guy in the world. You're going to help the leader. You don't tell him, but you know in your heart that he'll approve, and anything he says otherwise is just for show. It has to be, right? Because that's what gods do. They play coy and let you figure it out, and you've figured it out. Your personal mission is to share the good news, and your little circle is tasked with that. So you rent a van and drive out to the nearest town, full of fire and the desire to make your cult bigger. You and your friends start knocking on doors and talking to people, and those baseball bats strapped to your back, just in case you encounter any trouble, nothing more. But, shock of shocks, you find the nearby town just really isn't having it. They don't like you and they don't like your message. This makes no sense to you. Clearly they've been misguided and led astray. The world's a big place, and there's lots of competing messages. You're gonna have to improvise. So you start holding rallies, your circle there with their baseball bats and shotguns, a few more since you started, and hoping that'll work. But it doesn't. Few attend, and they don't seem to be willing to listen. This doesn't jive. Your leader's the best. The cult's the best. Naturally, you'll have to use some more forceful persuasion. Maybe some violent persuasion. You didn't want it to come to this, but your hand's been forced. Means to an end, right? You meet with your circle, and then, within the week, you straight up assault the town. Kidnaps, firebombs, the works, whatever you have to do to let them know, and if they don't want to listen, then they're lost forever. Heretics. They weren't ready for the good news, and it shows. You lay waste to all who don't cooperate. You mop up your operation and gather up to go back to report your progress to your leader. You did it all for him, so surely nothing can be wrong about it. You all arrive back, proud of your good deeds, and line up to tell your leader. He invites you all in, listens to what you have to say, nods, and then summons everyone for a full cult meeting. Once you're all assembled, he calls you and your circle up, and then, in front of everyone, viciously eviscerates you for everything you've said and done, and you especially, as the leader of your circle. You are directly responsible, and he is not, in fact, a god. You need to clean yourself up, revise your thinking, and stop immediately what you were doing. Just picture it in your head for a second. You, the most devout follower of them all, the most loyal, as you view it, the one who'd bend over backwards to make sure the world knows of your leader. And you've just been destroyed in front of everyone, your circle, your fellow cult members, by the very god you know, love, and worship. How does that make you feel? So I would like you to keep that in your head as we progress, and you'll see what I'm getting at with it. So, who are the word bearers? Oh. I know, right, Flora? I know. It's terrible. Just awful. Just awful. Alright, so, the word bearers. The word bearers were a legion of space marines. They were formed and recruited from the defeated foes of the Emperor. They fought with a zealotry born of a desire for redemption because they were formed from the defeated foes of the Emperor. They had no joy or glory in battle. The only way they would ever feel any pleasure was if they had completely and utterly destroyed anybody who was opposition to them. The Emperor declared them the Imperial Heralds, and that's what you see, the picture right now. That guy is an Imperial Herald. Their purpose, well, as with all Space Marines, but especially with the Imperial Heralds, was to destroy all opposition. And they were really good at just raising any sorcery or heretical publications from the planets they conquered. They were really, really good at it. And now we get to our leader. His name is Lorgar. Look at that happy fellow. He's not happy at all. I don't think he ever was. I don't think happiness exists in his lexicon. He was born on Colchis, which was a feudal religious world. I know. You just want to have a coffee with him. Doesn't he just look fantastic? Well, not technically born on Colchis. There was a part of Chaos's assault on the Imperium was basically vanishing at least half of the nascent baby Primarchs from Terra to spread them out across the galaxy and make the Imperium's job a lot more difficult. But anyway, yeah. So he was one of the Primarch babies that was just vanished from Terra, and he appeared on the planet of Colchis. He was discovered by the priests of the dominant religion on Colchis and raised in the great temples and educated as such. As he grew up, he had dreams of a mighty warrior coming to Colchis, somebody to just dazzle your pants off. As he grew up, there was a huge religious schism on the planet, and he ended up leading one of the factions which completely destroyed the other faction. And when that happened, when the Great Defeat happened, Lorgar's faction took charge, and he had a glorious vision of the Emperor arriving within a year of that defeat, which he did. The Emperor arrived. Yay! Shiny, happy Emperor. Yay! And of course Lorgar was right. And the Emperor was like, "Hey, you seem like a cool dude. Why don't you join the Imperium?" And Lorgar was like, "Hell yeah! God's right here, baby, and I'm helping him. Yeah, love this guy. Love this guy." And a whole bunch of his best warriors joined, and they all became Imperial Heralds. So that was really cool. That's basically like Lorgar winning the lottery. Just the best thing since ever. And since that happened, Lorgar's faith in the Emperor, who officially did not claim godhood and did not want religion, persisted. Because, religious guy from a religious planet, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Lorgar was able, over the years, through words and campaigns, to convince an already primed for belief chapter to also believe in the Emperor's divinity. So can you just imagine being like a space marine and, conquering planets for the Imperium and being like, "Hey guys, have some good news. This whole Imperium and run by the God Emperor. I mean, what's wrong with, why not just join us, eh? Because if you don't, we'll kind of destroy you. But we won't need to destroy you if you just, join us. Because who wouldn't want to join us?" Hi, Elosin. Welcome. Welcome. How are you today? So, all right. So, continuing on. Over countless missions in the Great Crusade by the Emperor to reunite the Imperium after a catastrophic sundering by the forces of chaos, Lorgar spread the word of the Divine Emperor even though the Emperor didn't want it. And the Emperor, he was growing more and more dissatisfied with what happened with the word bearers. He was like, "Hey guys, I'm not a god. I really wish you'd stop, converting everybody. I don't need that. I don't want it. And converting people takes time. You need to actually, sit down and chat with them or, shoot everybody. And we don't want to shoot everybody because we need them to make resources for the Empire. Whether it's creating more babies to become space marines and Astra Militarum, or people to mine resources or grow food or whatever. We don't want to convert everybody. That's not the intent. We just want to spread the Imperial truth, which is that the Imperium of Man is the best way to go." Hello, Kuro. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. But Lorgar was all like, "Hey guys, the the Emperor's a god. Isn't that awesome? You know, we're spreading the word. He's amazing. Let's all worship him." And yeah, so over time, uh, they there was a bit of a growing discontent from the Emperor. Um, he tried talking with them, the heralds, but there wasn't it wasn't registering. Because when you've got basically like a prophet or a self-declared prophet spreading the word of the God Emperor, uh, it and you're absolutely certain he's a god, and then the God Emperor himself is just like, nah, I'm not a god. I'm just a really cool guy. And you're like, no, that's what gods say, kind of. So I can see you want us to figure this out. I figured it out. I'm spreading your word. What more do you want? And the God Emperor and the Emperor was like, making the dissatisfied face. So after a while, in the Great Crusade, as it were, the Emperor ordered the entire Ultramarines Legion, plus the Legio Custodes, his personal bodyguards, to the planet Kur, held by the Word Bearers as the Imperial Heralds as an important planet. They really liked Kur. It was like it had the capital Monarchia, um, which was viewed by the heralds as like the holy city, basically their Jerusalem, of the Imperium. It was like, the most pious, the most holiest, the most everythingest for the heralds. Um, Although, yeah, also at some point they changed the name to the Word Bearers. I am also aware that Lorgar wrote like a big religious missive, a doctrine almost, about how to worship the Emperor and how divine he was and how amazing he was, and kind of like I guess like a Word Bearer's Bible, about the God Emperor as they believed it. So yeah. Um, and once the Ultramarines and Custodes arrived, they were ordered to raze Monarchia to the ground. And then, naturally that would not go well. The entire Ultramarines Legion. Hiya, Ryaskar. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, so after Kur, Monarchia on the planet Kur was razed to the ground by the Ultramarines. They all were ordered, so both the Ultramarines and the Word Bearers were ordered to assemble on the ruins of Monarchia. Which, ouch. The Emperor, who was also there, psychically forced everyone to kneel, including Lorgar, and explained to them that they'd failed him in humanity. The Emperor was no god and would not tolerate any belief as such. So, this relates back to my, oh, sweet. Sweet. Awesome. So yeah, this relates back to my metaphor, which I think a few of you missed. But, if it's okay with Flora, I'm going to reread it again, because it relates directly to what I just described about happening. So, just rewinding a little bit because some of you missed it. We're going to play pretend for a moment. Just pretend for a moment that you're in a cult and your leader is the best friend that you could ever ask for. He's the best guy in the world, helping you, your friends, family out when you need it. Never asking for anything but your friendship and loyalty. Oh sure, he demurs and says he isn't a god, but you in your heart of hearts know better. Your leader is just trying to make the world a better place. In fact, that's the cult's stated goal, its reason for existence. He's the nicest guy you've ever met, and his playing demure does nothing to affect your fervent devotion and loyalty to him. Your cult is pretty large, but you found a nice place to hide out, and before you know it, the world will be joining you in your worship. You find a group within the cult, a circle that all share your fervent devotion, and you form a camaraderie. Your goal is to spread the word of your leader to everyone who doesn't believe. Let them know about the best guy in the world. You're going to help the leader. You don't tell him, but you know in your heart that he'll approve. And anything he says otherwise is just for show. It has to be, right? Because that's what gods do. They play coy, and that you figure it out, and you've figured it out. Your personal mission is to share the good news. Hi, Kishnam. Welcome. And your little circle is tasked with that. So you rent a van and drive out to the nearest town, full of fire and the desire to make your cult bigger. You and your friends start knocking on doors and talking to people, and those baseball bats strapped to your back, just in case you encounter any trouble. Nothing more. Just ignore the shotgun a member of your circle's holding. No plans on using it, right? Absolutely not. But, shock of shocks, you find the nearby town just really isn't having it. They don't like you and they don't like your message. Sammy! Wow! Thanks for the raid. This is amazing. Wow. Thank you. Welcome, raiders. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, I am SASCHA. Today I'm doing a just chatting stream about the word bearers from Warhammer 40,000. I'm kind of zooming in there. I'm one of 4 monsters of the Dungeon Lounge. I'm a griffin, and then we also have Flora the Dragon in chat, and we also have Mal the Lich Lord, and Elizabeth the Banshee, and we all do different things throughout the week. Different video games, different streams. So yeah, please feel free to join and check it out. We would love to have you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Yes, so, alright, yes. But, shock of shocks, you find the nearby town just really isn't having it. They don't like you and they don't like your message. This makes no sense to you. Clearly, they've just been misguided and led astray. The world's a big place, and there's lots of competing messages. You're gonna have to improvise. So you start holding rallies, your circle there with their baseball bats and shotguns, a few more since you started, and hoping that'll work. But it doesn't. Few attend, and they don't seem to be willing to listen. This doesn't jive. Your leader's the best. The cult's the best. Naturally, you'll have to use some more forceful persuasion. Maybe even some violent persuasion. You didn't want it to come to this, but your hand's been forced. Means to an end, right? You meet with your circle, and then within the week, you straight up assault the town. Kidnaps, firebombs, the works. Whatever you have to do to let them know. And if they don't want to listen, then they're lost forever. Heretics. They weren't ready for the good news, and it shows. You lay waste to all who don't cooperate. You mop up your operation and gather up to go back to report your progress to your leader. You did it all for him, so surely nothing can be wrong about it. You all arrive back, proud of your good deeds. Welcome, Yubi. Welcome, welcome. You arrive back, proud of your good deeds, and line up to tell your leader. He invites you all in, listens to what you have to say, nods, and then summons everyone for a full cult meeting. Once you're all assembled, he calls you and your circle up, and then, in front of everyone, viciously eviscerates you for everything you've said and done, and you especially as the leader of your circle. You are directly responsible, and he is not, in fact, a god. You need to clean yourself up, revise your thinking, and stop immediately what you were doing. Just picture it in your head for a second. You, the most devout follower of them all, the most loyal, as you view it, the one who'd bend over backwards to make sure the world knows of your leader. And you've just been destroyed in front of everyone, your circle, your fellow cult members, by the very god you know, love, and worship. How does that make you feel? Pretty bitter, I'd imagine. Because that would sting. That would really sting. I would not be happy. It would be a bad day. The worst of days, in fact. Like, I could not imagine being in that situation. That would just utterly destroy me. Like, you're like the holiest of holy. Your leader. He's leading humanity. He's saving the galaxy from all those filthy Xenos and heretics. You're all out there spreading the word. And then it turns out every single thing you've said and done is wrong. How dare you? Oh, excellent, Kishnam. Tell us about it. I want to hear it. What did you play? What did they play? Who won? Did you have fun? I'm excited. Ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I remember my first 40k tabletop match. That was fun. So yeah. Moving on. After the dressing down. Oh. So there is a lot of canonical doubt over what happens after that, but there does seem to be some consensus about it. For a while, the word bearers continued on, more effective than ever, but it was a false pretense, as chaos was already settling in. Once you sort of crack that armor of faith and devotion, it leaves a lot of space for doubt and a lack of awe, and you wonder, like, if my God Emperor doesn't want me to worship him, why bother? What's going on here? Why should I even try? So Lorgar retreated and consulted with his advisors, who felt that the word bearers should serve gods more worthy of their worship. It turns out that Colchis' original gods, Colchis being the planet that our good friend Lorgar was raised on. Ooh. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, very smart. That's a very valid strategy. Good job, Keishan. I'm proud of you. Welcome to the exciting world of tabletop, Warhammer 40,000. I hope you continue on and have much more fun. And yeah, I know Mal plays Tau, so I'm sure he'd love to get into a chat with you at some point. Yes. Anyway, it turns out that Colchis' original gods had been chaos all along, and Lorgar found out from his advisors. Oh, that's a good suggestion, Ilosin. Lorgar was interested in seeking out these old gods, so he called a pilgrimage into the warp. Eventually, the word bearers as a whole were corrupted and became the first step of the Horus heresy. But that's for another stream. And, good God, I did not anticipate how quick I would go through this. Alright, so looks like you're gonna get off the cuff, Sasha, because I still have like an hour and a half, so let's talk. So what do you all think of this horrible, awful betrayal of what happened to Lorgar and the word bearers? Oh, I have another picture to show you. There we go, and that's what the word bearers look like now. Happy fellows. Man, they're just not very happy at all. And I wouldn't be either, especially considering the enormous cosmic irony of the fact that the word bearers got just completely destroyed by the Emperor for doing what in a couple of millennia the Imperium was doing anyway. Like, yeah, granted, the word bearers were super violent. They basically destroyed entire planets to get them to conform to their divinity beliefs, their divine beliefs about the Emperor. But, you know, the Emperor would, I think he was known for occasionally trying to calm them down a bit and being like, hey, you know, maybe let's not be so violent, eh? Um, that's generally not cool. People don't respond to that very well. Um, but yeah, it's pretty hard to calm down a super fervent. Oh, hi, Rogie Rat. Welcome. It would be pretty hard to calm down a super fervent, well, entire chapter slash legion of Space Marines. And these guys did that even way before the Horus Heresy. And I don't know, I might do a stream about that if enough people want me to. But yeah, basically they were the first step to causing the Emperor's greatest Primarch son, Horus, to turn to chaos. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like the Emperor really could have done this a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, I have a Primarch tank that's really cool. That takes me like 20 minutes just to roll out all of the hits. It's hilarious, but also annoying because my poor opponent just has to sit through that. But yeah, so there are better ways to address such evangelicalism. I certainly wish he had, because then the Emperor would have maintained another chapter of his Space Marines. And Space Marines are a somewhat limited commodity given all of the work that goes into them. So yeah, I think he definitely could have done a better job of addressing his concerns. You really yelling and destroying a child's favorite thing is not a good way of teaching them to revise their thinking. I think things would have gone a lot better if he'd actually just sort of taken Lorgar aside, sat him down, explained his position, and tried to convince Lorgar of it. Because yeah, if you have a son go out there destroying planets that don't conform to your divine and misguided belief, then yeah, you're not gonna gain a good reputation for both yourself or the God Emperor or the Imperium as a whole. Especially when you've got other Space Marine chapters out there doing their gosh darn best to spread the Imperial truth. One thing and I'm gonna draw a comparison, so forgive me. One thing I think the Empire and Star Wars did better than the Imperium was give planets their relative, most planets their relative freedom once they started serving the Empire. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of genocide and oppression and all that, but yeah, I think that's a really good point, Alosin. Yeah, I mean, all of the sons had their own character. They all had their own ways of doing things, but I don't doubt for a second that, say, instead of having the Ultramarines come and wreck up Monarchia, if instead he'd sort of paired the Word Bearers and the Ultramarines together, and that way the Ultramarines could have, kept them in check. Absolutely, Yellowson. Or maybe one of the less rabidly devoted chapters. It's the universe is a scary place and all that, and there's all the Xenos and heretics out there, but the Emperor would have maintained another chapter. I don't think the Emperor knew how to parent. Definitely a great failing on his part. And honestly, instead of fighting against the whole divinity thing, I understand where he's coming from, but I think it was inevitable when you have a situation like that. In many of the books I've read, the imperial cult, because I've read a lot of Horus Heresy books, so the imperial cult spreads like a virus almost. Licky Glock, welcome. Hello, hello. Yeah, the imperial cult basically was impossible to keep from spreading, no matter how many inquisitors you sent out. And there were a lot of inquisitors. Um, Unfortunately, yeah, the galaxy was just too big. Oh, thank you, Licky Glock. I appreciate the hydrate. And in a galaxy of that size, how are you going to keep something like that from spreading? Especially when you have methods like little like pamphlets and photocopied books, especially of Lorgar's treatise on the divinity of the Emperor. And much like my metaphor comparison, Lorgar was thoroughly. You can't nuke every planet, Licky Glock. Otherwise, you'd have no Imperium, and then what's the God Emperor gonna do? And also, they kind of do have that. It's called Exterminatus, and it's basically a measure of last resort when there's literally nothing else you can do, including an entire assault by Space Marines. And even Space Marines view Exterminatus, which is basically glassing a whole planet with super duper mega explosives and making it completely uninhabitable and useless for any resources whatsoever. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Especially considering just how big of a machine the Imperium is and how many resources it needs. You need resources for everything. So yeah, you kind of want to avoid nuking it from orbit, even if it is the only way to be sure. But again, you can't nuke every planet. So you've got the Imperial cult spreading. The Emperor had to know it was going to happen, especially with the especially with the son, quote unquote, like Lorgar. I mean, the guy came from a religious planet. He was raised by priests, and then you elevate him to basically one of your Charlie's Angels, like, or Emperor's Angels. Canonically, Space Marines are referred to as angels, like battle angels. Like, they're just 10-foot tall, genetically engineered walking tanks with guns that a human being could not even hold by themselves. Like, and you have big fleets of Space Marines, and then you have specialized Space Marines. Like, that is just ripe for a religious let's see, I guess a religious conversion. It's just knowing how humans work, even if Space Marines are altered genetically and walking tanks, they still have some aspect of humanity within them, which is what Chaos preys on, which is why there are so many safety checks built into the Imperium. Yeah, it was bound to happen, and the Emperor should have known it, should have dealt with it better. If basically just rolled with it, because not only was it impossible basically to prevent, but it's a way of motivating your people. And granted, the word bearers were definitely going about it all wrong. You don't really like destroying planets and such. Not a good look. But yeah, just roll with it. Just roll with it, because that's how you do it. You take it as it comes. You adapt to it, and forbidding things makes it the forbidden pleasure. And yeah. And the word bearers by proxy, the entire chapter just basically felt the heartbreak that their leader Lorgar felt. So an entire chapter, you lose an entire chapter of Space Marines even before the Horus Heresy. And just quickly, the Horus Heresy was the Emperor's favored son, Horus, who he'd made War Master, basically to sweep away all of the filthy Xenos and heretics from the galaxy. He got he got convinced to check out that whole chaos thing. The chaos started implanting doubt in him, and he soon betrayed the entire Imperium, as well as his fellow Primarchs and the God Emperor himself, and turned to chaos and led an entire rebellion, which basically came up to the Emperor's doorstep, the gates, and it was only through the sacrifice of a few Primarchs that he was repelled. And that's why it's called the Horus Heresy, because his name is Horus. And what was he the leader of? Where is it? Yeah, the Sons of Horus, the Black Legion. Yeah, Horus led the Black Legion, but they turned into the oh yeah, they were the Sons of Horus. Now they're the Black Legion. My apologies. Yeah. So it's pretty well theorized at this point that because of what happened to Lorgar and the Word Bearers, he basically started spreading tentacles of chaos into the Imperium of Man, and Horus started listening, and that wasn't good, because then there was the whole everything. So if Lorgar hadn't been such a diva, then things would have gone a lot better for the Imperium. It's just so awful to think of poor Lorgar. I mean, yeah, the Word Bearers were pretty awful in how they did things. They could have been a lot better, but the Emperor could have dealt with it a lot better as well. And yeah, what do you guys think? How would you feel if you'd been in Lorgar's situation? Your best buddy, the best guy in the world, or galaxy, here to liberate the Imperium of Man from everything that's not good. And then he reams you out in front of all your friends. And it's like, yeah, you just did everything wrong. I'm not a god. I don't know why you keep trying to make that happen. It's never gonna happen. And of course it happened. Yeah. Could you please stop it? We're just gonna destroy your favorite world, your jewel, as a lesson, instead of taking you aside and sitting with you and having a nice little chat. Because, yeah, the God Emperor the Emperor was pissed off. I don't think I would take it well. Do I blame Lorgar? Kinda. He could have done things better too. Granted, being completely and utterly humiliated in front of your entire chapter, plus the chapter most highly favored by the Emperor. Yeah, that would be pretty soul destroying. I think for anybody. But yeah, especially for one's most devout follower, believer. Generally not a good thing. So, anybody have thoughts? What do you guys think? Chat, tell me. Tell me what you're feeling right now. I'm curious. Because it's such a tragedy. It stuck with me. It really did. You generally want the best things to happen, but of course it's Warhammer 40,000 and it's all grim dark and everything sucks and everything is grimy and dirty and nasty. Yeah. You know what? I still have like a whole hour to fill, so let's do impromptu. Let's do another chapter, shall we? I don't have a nice fancy written out thingy like I did for the word bearers, but all right. Let us do the Alpha Legion. Oh, very little is known about them. That's great. All right. Let's see. The Alpha Legion was the 20th Legion of Astartes, created during the first founding, so that's the very first creation of Space Marines by the Emperor to carry out his great crusade to reunite all of humanity in a new golden age under his rule. The Alpha Legion specialized in infiltration, covert operations, misdirection, and diversion tactics. And their armies contained many chaos cultists and other mortal agents, in addition to regular heretic Astartes. So that's exciting. Space commies. You want me to do space commies? I can do space commies. I've mostly been focusing on the Imperium of Man, but we can do some space commies. All right. So the Tau, or Toe, are young humanoid and technologically advanced species native to the eastern fringes of the Milky Way galaxy. So just imagine right now, at this very moment, there are Tau, and they're on the fringe of the galaxy. Let's see. Just give me a moment, and I will get up a picture. Oh, there's a good picture. I like it. So tell me, friends, what is... Do you like the Tau? Do you like the space commies? Do you not? What do you like or dislike about them? If they are your army, why do you play them? Hey look, it's a Tau. And I love the samurai style armor. Doesn't that look cool? I think it looks pretty cool. Yes, so let us read some more about them, shall we? Let's see. The Tau are fighting to expand their interstellar empire and extend a philosophical concept they call the greater good. For the greater good. Which is a running joke every time I play against Mal. Because it's like, everything is for the greater good. The Tau are central figures of the Tau Empire, an interstellar polity. which is composed of several different intelligent species, primarily the Kroot, the and the Vespids, and the nomadic Nicasser. However, there are now several human Tau septs, derived from conquered imperial humans or humans who voluntarily joined the Tau Empire because they were impressed by the concept of the greater good. Naturally, of course, they're like super duper mega heretics to the rest of the Imperium. Let's see. Nobody knows when the Great Tau Empire was founded, but how they were united is a pretty well known tale. Yes, the greater good. And definitely peace through superior firepower. Now, I know when I play Inquisitor Martyr and I face the Tau, they are annoying as heck because they're bouncing all over the place and their stupid banshees are like, ah, screaming at you the whole time, and it's really annoying. I much relish destroying them. It's really annoying playing against them. I wish I could show you guys Martyr. Unfortunately, it does not mesh with the magic streaming software thingy. Poor Elizabeth. Why poor Elizabeth? What's going on? Alright, going on about the Tau. They were a culture built upon warring tribes. By the way, I'm reading this from the Warhammer 40k wiki, which is where I also get a lot of my Space Marine information from. Oh, Banshees. Oh, there we go. So there's the link if you guys are interested. I'm just going to do like a light breeze through, trying to condense what I'm reading. Let's see. Yeah, the Tau. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with the Tau. Yeah, Banshees, yeah. The Banshees are annoying, but it's not an Elizabeth Banshee, it's a Tau Banshee, which is completely different. Yeah, Elizabeth is not annoying. Elizabeth is awesome, and we love her. So yeah, basically, the Tau expanded into the galaxy, with carrying the idea of the greater good. And what is the greater good? Let's see. All sentient beings should strive to ensure the greatest good for the greatest number of beings in the galaxy. It was first introduced to the Tau during the Death Age, the long period of civil war fought between the different Tau cities and clans on their homeworld of Tau before the formation of the unified Tau Empire under the guidance of the ethereal castes. The philosophy of the greater good now guides the Tau in their attempts to conquer the rest of the galaxy and unite the intelligent species in pursuit of the greater good. The philosophy forces the Tau to both desire to expand their empire for the greater good and to absorb other intelligent races and cultures into their own. Might be. I've been known to mistake aliens and units. I think you're right, though. Maybe they're Eldar and not Tau. You know, it says pronunciation is Toe, but that sounds weird. So I'm going to call them Tau. I might be wrong. I might not. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, the Tau Empire soon expanded its borders through a series of so-called sphere expansions. The Tau Empire has gone through 5 phases of expansion as of the era Indomitus. Yeah, that's a good call, Kishinum. I think they are, actually. I'm mixing up my units. It's the Eldar we face in Martyr. Inquisitor Martyr. They're annoying. Yeah, we do play against the Tau in Dawn of War. That's what I'm mistaking. Thanks for the correction. There's a reason I've called this not an expert. You guys are learning at the same time I am. Yes. So the Tau Empire has gone through 5 phases of expansion. These phases are marked by Tau military campaigns during which nearby worlds are colonized, conquered, or sometimes peacefully persuaded to accept the greater good through diplomacy and a manifest demonstration of the benefits provided by advanced Tau technology. So, presumably that's how they absorbed the Kroot and the Nikisar and anybody else, including the heretic humans, who, like, are aligning with the filthy Xenos. For the greater good. The greater good. The Damocles Gulf Crusade, also called the Damocles Crusade, was the first military conflict fought between the Imperium of Man and the rapidly expanding Tau Empire in the Litesh sector of the Ultima Segmentum in the galaxy's eastern fringes during the late 41st millennium. Aha. So that's when humans and Tau first met. Very cool. So could you imagine being a regular Imperial Navy ship? Just, la la la, spreading the Imperium. Yay, love the God Emperor, isn't he a cool dude? And then, bam, there's Tau. It's like, wait a minute. Who are these guys? Why are they here? What's going on here? What's the greater good? And they just poof onto your ship. It's like, hey guys, how does that greater good sound to you? I think it's pretty cool. Why don't you join us? And meanwhile, you've got the God Emperor talking smack about anyone who doesn't follow the Imperial truth. It's like, yeah, we kind of gotta kill you now. You know? Oh yeah. Ugh. Sorry, I've been binging the TV series of Fargo. So it's like, that Minnesota accent, eh? Could you imagine, like, some Minnesotans on a spaceship? Oh yeah, the greater good, eh? Yeah. Yeah. The greater good. For the greater good. So, like, you got the Tau walking up and being like, oh yeah, so what do you think about this greater good, guys? Let's say we join up, make the galaxy a better place. And the God Emperor be like, nope, hashtag nope, middle finger, we gotta kill you. It's just the way of things. And the Tau are like, oh no, And the Imperium's like, oh yeah, yeah. Alright guys, ready the weapons. Yeah. I guess these people are all from like the planet Minnesota. Sorry, we gotta kill ya. Not very nice of ya. You're all talking about the greater good. But yeah, you know, our emperor, he don't like that. It's kind of mean, you know, just trying to counter what our fellow emperor is saying. Yeah. The tower like, oh bother. Well, you know, you're kind of getting in the way of things now, so yeah. And the Imperium's like, oh no. Let's charge our weapons, eh? I guess you could call them Canadian too. Like super Canadian Imperium. I guess Minnesota / Canadian. Oh yeah. This is what SASCHA gets for not getting any sleep and binging on Fargo. Yeah. Space Fargo. Can you imagine sitcoms in the Imperium? What does a sitcom in the Imperium look like? Or like a dark comedy? I mean, you can't really make fun of anything. You can't really mock the Space Marines. I mean, I guess the Imperial Guard would be ripe for that, but because it's not like there's any edicts against mocking them, or maybe mocking situations. Maybe you do get a show with like Minnesota Guard. Yeah. What do you think of them Xenos? Them filthy heretics. Yeah. You know, we should probably take care of them. Yeah. Are you all loaded up, Sergeant? Yeah. Let's go. Eh? Or maybe like you've got this Texas Imperial Guard with all their shotguns. I don't know. That's just playing on stereotypes. And I'm being horribly stereotypical. That's not very Canadian of me. Then again, I mean, I can mock us. Would you guys watch a sitcom set in the 40K universe? I mean, I totally would. It would probably be hilarious. Oh my gosh, yes. A sitcom where a Marine gets into impossibly silly situations. I don't know if that would be tolerated, but it's funny to think about. Like, every episode you get something ridiculous happening. And he's got to get his way out of it. I don't think the Inquisition would like it, but... You know, I'd imagine on planets there's a lot of humor existing anyway. I mean, yeah, like any resident Inquisitor would probably just end up tolerating it because... Yeah, because it's humor. You need humor to deal with such a grim, dark universe. You need humor to get you through. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that. Shows the Marine in a positive light. Well, you'd have to. Otherwise, everyone would get executed for heresy. Because Space Marines are like the angels. They're like super amazing, awesome, scary. Let's see. Let's get a picture of a Space Marine. Yeah, it's the chapter I play. Iron Hands. Like, can you imagine pissing off one of these dudes? Yeah, everybody needs a laugh. I don't know. I mean, I imagine it would be like Imperial sanctioned fun though. But I wouldn't be so eager to piss off a 10-foot tall genetically engineered walking tank of a soldier. And all of the people devoted to maintaining strict religious worship. Most of the humor I see is situational, like the Space Marines mocking each other. But yeah, I mean, you couldn't completely forbid it either. It would be really hard to do that. You need humor to deal. Imperial TM, sanctioned TM, fun TM. Exactly. I do get the impression that creative art does exist in the Warhammer 40k universe. It's just never really highlighted. So, yeah, I mean, I think it would be interesting to design something that would be approved by the Imperium of Man, the God Emperor. Like, what kind of, like, just amusingly, there is a lot of religious humor on YouTube. Surprisingly. Maybe not surprisingly, but... And if, like, religious humor can exist even for the most fuddy-duddiest of believers, then I'd imagine you could get some Imperial sanctioned fun. So what would that look like, though? What would that look like? Would it be a talk show, maybe? Of some hosts examining what's happening in the nearby galaxy? Would it be interviews with a Space Marine, maybe with probably with Guard? I'd think Imperial Guard would be much more willing to do interviews, but even then they wouldn't really be happy about it. They would do it if ordered. It would have to be mostly civilian, I'm thinking then. Maybe speculation from the outside on what's happening. Yeah, a humane touch. Exactly, Keishnam. Exactly. You gotta have humor. So yeah, it probably exists in some form. Maybe there's cartoons. Lots of cartoons and officially sanctioned comic books about the heroism of the Space Marines and the Astra Militarum. And you've got characters like Caiaphas Cain out there. I'd imagine lots of stories would make their ways around the galaxy about how awesome Caiaphas Cain is, despite the fact he disavows it as often as he possibly can. He's just like, yeah, I'm just a dude. I'm just doing Imperial things. Let's see if I could get a picture of Caiaphas Cain up, because he's awesome. I love all of the Caiaphas Cain books. It's a bit of a small picture, but also if you haven't read any of the Caiaphas Cain books, highly recommend. He's funny and heroic and awesome. I really enjoy those books. There we go. Like, he looks so grim and serious here, but he's actually pretty funny. He's just like, I'm not really that heroic. Yeah. Yeah, you can't really do too much if you're plain unaltered human. You get your heroes, but like, unless I'm wondering if that's the intention. I don't know if the artist was maybe going for it. But yeah, highly recommend all of that. He is pretty handsome and pretty built. You have to be an inquisitor. Oh, commissar, sorry. He's a commissar. I was mixing up my words. He did a lot of things. His whole premise is he was a commissar that did his utmost to not get into battle. He basically bent over backwards to avoid battle. Unfortunately, situations forced him to be in battle, and he gained status as a hero of the Imperium. And ironically, it would put him into even more battle than he wanted. And as hard as he tried to avoid it, yeah, he ended up being a hero. And yeah, he was just like haplessly kind of bouncing from one situation to another, and everybody loved him, even though he was like, guys, there's somebody more awesome over there. No, stop. I'm not. Okay, fine, I'm cool. I'll allow it. But then you have the more gruff Ibram Gaunt, the leader of the famed Gaunt's Ghosts. Let's see. Who was a lot more serious of a commissar, but he led his troops through thick and thin, and was a true hero, persevering when the odds were completely against him and his troops. He respected his troops, treated them like the people they were instead of disposable assets. He was a commissar colonel. Sorry, my apologies. There we go. Look at this handsome fellow. I'd follow him to hell and back. And Gaunt was really famous for being loyal, incredibly loyal to his troops. Like, he deeply respected them. He treated them like people. They weren't just disposable resources. Gaunt was awesome, and the Gaunt's Ghosts were awesome. I highly recommend those books as well, where Commissar Kane did his best to avoid battle. Typhon! Hello. Welcome. Yes, we all love a good Vincent Price trap. Classic. Yes. Welcome aboard. Yes, we were just talking about the wonder of commissars, and we had the the silly Commissar Kane, and we have the more serious Ibram Gaunt, Commissar Gaunt, leader of the Gaunt's Ghosts. He got promoted, but even when he got promoted to colonel, he still maintained his commissar title and tried his best to lead the ghosts, hence the name Gaunt's Ghosts. Um, he really didn't like being away from them. He was fully devoted to them because he knew that if he wasn't there giving them a bit of leeway and the quality leadership they needed, then they would probably just vanish in a poof of filthy Xenos or filthy heretics. He was like probably him and Kane, despite Kane's alleged cowardice, were two of the best commissars out there. If only because literally every other example of commissars has them shooting troops at the merest whisper of disloyalty or heretical thought. Granted, heretical thought and disloyalty should be treated strictly. Yay, bongos! Bongo, bongo, bongo. But Gaunt was known, well, both Gaunt and Kane were known for being extremely lenient because they recognized the true reality of the battlefield. Kane, if only in trying to escape it and knowing where to escape to, and Gaunt in taking down every single threat that him and his troops faced, and coordinating with the Space Marines that they worked with, and every other troops, and the leadership. And it's a lot of back and forth work. There's a lot of planetary governors who didn't know what they were doing because they were just rich jerks who didn't care about anybody. Oh, thank you. Hydrate. I love caffeine. Posture check. I am postured up and stretch. Oh, thank you, Rice Car. I really appreciate it. Oh, I always need a good stretch. Oh. And yeah, that's one thing I really like about the reading all of the Imperial Guard books. They seem more down to earth, very more human, if only because the main protagonists. Oh, well, sleep well, Ryaskar. I hope you rest up. I am deeply considering taking a nap myself today, considering I literally didn't get any sleep last night. Although I did have like a couple hours nap this morning, so that's something, right? Yeah. The only reason I'm sentient is because of caffeine right now. So yeah, rest well. I will definitely try to take a nap, Flora. Or at least doze off a little bit. Or even just relax. I promise. My anxiety laughs at me sometimes, especially since I'm still getting used to doing this just chatting format. Thank you, Ryaskar. I hope you rest well. And thanks for dropping in. Have a great rest of your day. And take care. Yeah, my anxiety often gets the better of me, considering I'm still getting used to doing just streaming. I think that'll start to fade, though, especially as I start feeling more comfortable doing this. Yeah, like, I had 6 pages of notes, plus that thing I wrote specifically for the stream, and I still just plowed through it, so, I think my anxiety just makes me paranoid. Thank you, Flora, and thank you, Keishnam, I really appreciate it. You guys are great, the best. But yeah, like, there's something more heroic, I guess, if you're a regular human and in a galaxy that's doing its best to destroy you and everyone you know and love and the Imperium you're fighting for. All of the people on your home planet, all of the all of your fellow Imperial Guard. I might focus on the Imperial Guard. Oh, there's so much to do in the 40k universe. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so it's probably the reason I've always sympathized with like the side characters and the ambiguously evil characters in things because you know, yeah, the Imperial Guard aren't the main heroes. They don't have all the shiny armor and the super mega heavy weapons, but they're just out there doing their best because that's all they can do, and quite often they've been forced into it. But beyond that, yeah, like I read one great story which is basically following an Imperial Guard. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet of you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm actually blushing right now. There we go. There. That's me blushing. Yeah. There's just something so human about it. I suppose it's also the reason I really loved Boromir in Lord of the Rings. He was a regular human. I mean, he had Aragorn, yeah, but he was basically cosplaying an elf. So, yeah, like it's the regular people and the people who are doing things for entirely reasonable reasons in the universe, in a very hostile universe that really appeal to me. Don't get me wrong, though, I do love my shiny Space Marines and all of their different specialties and everything. And it's why I also feel sympathy for the Chaos Marines. I mean, yeah, they're undoubtedly evil and doing terrible things, and of course they need to be destroyed utterly, but I also feel sympathy. Not as much for the more evil ones, but for the ones who were just sort of swept along with it and had nowhere else to go and no other direction. Yeah. This might explain why I love villains so much. Beyond their just being played by handsome people. Aw, thank you, Flora. I'm very much an I want everyone to win kind of person, and I hate it when the universe conspires against people that deserve better. The unfortunate thing is, quote unquote winning is viewed as a zero-sum game where if you win then everybody else loses, but I don't think that has to be the case. I think everybody can win if we all, you know, give it the good what for. I think everyone deserves to win. And the reason people go evil a lot of the time is their situation sucks. They have a bad situation that they can't control. There's nowhere left for them to go, and so they have to resort to desperate measures, and that shouldn't happen. And that's why the word bearers really struck me as a story, because I mean, yeah, they're all of the Space Marines do monstrous things. It's kind of like I argued in the very first just chatting I did, which was there's no heroes in the 40k universe. I think at least there's no heroes among the main groups, like the Space Marines, the Xenos. But I think and there's a lot of very terrible Imperial Guard out there too, but there's also really neat, really good Imperial Guard. And regular people just trying to survive in a very terrible, terrible universe that has no sympathy for them, which is akin to our own universe, really. We all live in some very interesting, scary times, and seeing people succeed is a good thing, I think. And so that's why we need characters like Ibram Gaunt and Caiaphas Cain and regular people. Okay, that's a very funny mental picture, Keishnam. I love it. I just don't know if it's really, if that's really accurate. I would say it's the Chad Space Marine versus. Yeah, well, it's a joke. It's basically you're shining flashlights at the bad guy. That's why there's so many Imperial Guard. It's a Zap Brannigan strategy of throwing enough disposable men at the kill bots until they reach their kill limit. That's how the Imperial Guard works, even when you're playing them on tabletop. For instance, Ishmael Minora, who chats here, he plays Guard, and we always joke about how many dice he has to roll. It's like all 66 dice for all of his billions and billions of Imperial Guard. And meanwhile, like, we all have, like, all of us who play other armies are, you know, he'll have like 20 Imperial Guard out there, and we'll have like a squad of 5. But our squad of 5 Space Marines or Tau or whatever are more than able to take down his Imperial Guard because they all have armor and weapons that suck. And it's always it's always really wacky when we play against Guard, because he's just piling on his Guard, and it's like sometimes there's too many for the table, and he'll just put down like a representative handful and be like, yeah, all the rest of these are here too, but I literally don't have room for them. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, and I feel sorry for Guard players because they have to lug around so many. So many. Yeah! New codex. Yeah! That's very exciting. I hope they get it. I know that the Imperium can sometimes be laggy in releasing new codexes. And it's always great when a new one comes out that benefits its faction. So yeah, I hope things get better for the Guard because they deserve it. Everybody deserves it really, except for the Space Marines. And I say this as a Space Marine player, but I don't want Space Marines to be the super shiny. I want everybody to be on equal ground when we play. And it's been a while since I've played. Actually, wow, like 3 years or so. If I played now, I would be super rusty. Super rusty. I don't know. I don't enjoy playing the game as much as I enjoy the lore of it. That's why I've just been like overloading on reading all the books. I'm just like rah, 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 give me all the books. Because it's just so fun to read. Brothers, I am pinned here. Yeah. And I know I'm vanilla for playing the Space Marines. It's what I was introduced to, but now I actually have an army of the Sisters of Battle, which a former employer basically sold to me for installments. It was great, but kind of not great because now I have too many troops and not enough physical space to hold them in. So that's fun. I do love the Space Marines though. The great thing about them is that they're like super big, genetically engineered 10-foot monsters with guns, and even with that, they still have to fight through so much, and they still die. Like the novel I'm reading, it's part of an omnibus, and it has like several novels and a few short stories in it, and yeah, of the 25 Space Marines that assault a ship that's currently being fought over by the orcs and the what's that thing? brother, 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 brother. Not the Necrons, the other one. Wow, I'm sorry, my brain just is not working today. Tyranid, that's the other one. Yeah. So like, of a group of 25 space marines that assaults a ship being fought over by the orcs and Tyranids, like 5 of them make it out. One of the kill teams, basically. It was like 3 kill teams and only 1 makes it out. And these are like space marines, like 10 foot tall, heavily armored monsters, like, and even they get destroyed, which is crazy. Jim Bros Himbos, I love that. The Mega Noms. Huh. Interesting. And like, I don't think I could survive like being an Imperial Guard fighting next to Space Marines. Like, when you see these officially released videos of like Imperial Guard like bowing when Space Marines come in and just destroy whatever the Imperial Guard are fighting, and they all like stare at them in awe and bow down, I would be doing that. Just be like, I'm not worthy. And yeah, I mean, I can see where they gain their reputation, and it's like every time somebody talks about Space Marines, it's in hushed whispers. It's like, have you ever seen a Space Marine? Yeah, my boyfriend's cousin's wife saw one in passing when her world was invaded. It's like, what a story to pass around. Just a crazy. I wouldn't want to live in the universe. It would just be way too much. I don't think my brain could process it. It's a lot to handle. And just, losing entire planets to a chaos invasion or a Xenos invasion, that would just be way too much. And like, also in the same book I'm reading, there's a captain of an Imperial Navy ship, and they go past a planet that was glassed, and it turns out it's the Navy Commodore's home planet that had been completely glassed by the Imperium to prevent Xenos from spreading. And he basically reams out the Space Marines. And the Space Marine is like, you dare ream me out? How dare? Just the rudest. We're here to keep you guys all safe, and you're angry at us? And the Navy captain's like, yeah, you destroyed my home planet, bruh. Like, that's not cool, bruh. I don't care how big and scary you are. That's not cool, bruh. And the Space Marine just, like, glares at him from behind his helmet. And yeah. Not a very nice place to live. But at least you have heroes, right? Bruh. Yeah. Not cool, bruh. That whole destroying worlds things, I don't like it. Not cool, bruh. We might be ostensibly in the same military, but yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. As a Aussie man might say. Yeah, nah. Destination fucked. If you'll pardon my language. I'd imagine there's a lot of yeah, bruh, or nah, bruh moments. I wonder if there's like a Valley Girl planet. Can you imagine all of the Marines and the Imperial Guard that come from it? Yeah, bruh. How's it going, bruh? Hey, bruh, save me, bruh. Don't tase me, bruh. Silly moments. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, there might very well be a a Valley Girl planet. That would be hilarious. Like a Valley Girl regiment of Imperial Guards. Hey, bruh, invading our planet isn't cool, bruh. Yeah, bruh. And then the Space Marines are like, why do you keep saying bruh? That's our thing, bruh. And the guards are like, it's nobody's thing, bruh. The places I go. My tired mind. Here's some fun homework. Let's design an Imperial Guard regiment or a Space Marine chapter. What do you think? You want to make it a project? We could come up with a home planet and a design and everything. That would be pretty fun. Bruh. Hey, bruh. Invading this planet. Not so cool. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm kind of running out of things. Planet, bruh. I like to imagine there's a Space Canada. If only to facilitate my homebrew chapter. Fun fact, I actually met the creator of Johnny Bravo once. He was awesome. He even drew me a sketch of Johnny Bravo. Unfortunately, I don't know where it went. It's probably in a box somewhere. But yeah, he was really cool. And he was quite proud of himself. Yeah, a Space Marine chapter full of Johnny Bravos. Uh-huh. Yeah, uh-huh. Hey, Xeno scum. Uh-huh. Time for you to die. I'm doing a bodybuilder pose. Uh-huh. Yep. So great. Yeah. That would be pretty funny. Now I want somebody to do like a cartoon of just like Space Marines posing like Johnny Bravo and like pulling out a comb and pretending to comb their hair down. Like that would be great. Like the bruh Space Marines and then the bruh Imperial Guard. Yeah, bruh. Hey, bruh. Save me, bruh. Save me. Don't invade our planets, bruh. Yeah, I used to watch that too. It was great. Bruh. The bruh chapter. The bruh regiment. Yeah, bruh. Hey, bruh. And then other Space Marines. That's our word. You can't use that. Bruh, that's what we say on our planet. Don't tase me, bruh. Not cool, bruh. They come from the planet, bruh. Recruited into the bruh regiment. Imperial Commissar, bruh. Hey, bruh. Stop being all heretical, bruh. Oh, we're not. We're just hanging out, having a chat. Wanna have a bud? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not really a bud, it's Amisak, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean, bruh. It's all good, bruh. Shoulder slap. That would be hilarious. I wonder what their colors would be. What colors would bruh colors be? I'm thinking like blue, maybe pink. Maybe the bruh regiment and the Valley Girl regiments come from the same planet. Hey, Becky. How's it going, bruh? Oh my god. This is wrong. This is so wrong, yet so hilarious. Oh my god, yeah. And like the Space Marines from the planet Bruh and slash Valley Girl would have like, would definitely be pink. Maybe they'd be like Hello Kitty Space Marines. It's so cute, man. Why are you so mean? You should be mean to all those Xenos and heretics, not us. Pink is a very great color, a well-respected color. Bruh. And, like, I wonder what their motto would be. Semper Paratus, bruh. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, I like to think the Space Marines of the Valley Girl Legion would have like skirts, just like decorative skirts. They'd be pink. They do cheerleading in their spare time. Their fighting would be like based in cheerleading. Go God Emperor, he's our man. If he can't do it, nobody can. Yeah, I'd play that chapter. I would definitely play that chapter. It's funny, in Dawn of War 2, which I've often played with my friends, I've created Hello Kitty Space Marines, and they were basically pink with like hot pink, like neon pink with I picked the symbol that most resembled a kitty with kitty ears, kind of silhouette type thing, and every time we fought, I was like hot pink, neon pink, and it was great. I enjoyed it. If I had more money to toss around, I'd buy more Space Marines, well, and time, and paint them in my Hello Kitty chapter. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's old now, but it's fun. Definitely, if you don't care about how old it is, it's kind of like retro fun. It's Soulstorm. Dawn of War. Wow, I can't talk. Soulstorm. I think it's definitely recommend. It's probably very cheap now. I don't know how much more support. I think they stopped supporting it, but it's still live, so you can definitely play it. Playing against the computers is tough, but if you keep the level lower, it's playable. It's doable, especially if you have more players. The more players, the better, for sure. And it's just a fun thing to do. Yeah, sure. I could play a few like versus AI games, or see if I could recruit maybe Mal into it, and maybe Ishmael. because we've all played it together. And then, yeah, I could show off my Hello Kitties. I made a Hello Kitty faction in every faction, so it's great. You'll get like hot pink aliens, hot pink Tyranids. Yeah. I don't know if I have the Tyranids. Yeah, Mal and I. Maybe I could rope Mal into a game or two. Not this Saturday because I'm doing Untitled Goose Game, but it would maybe be another Saturday when I felt like taking a break from Divinity or something. That's a good idea, Flora. Thank you. Maybe I could even rope one of our viewers into it or something. I'm kind of terrible at it, but it's fun. It's very fun. It's a silly way. Oh, well, thank you, Kishnam. Yes, I will pass the idea on to Mal and see what he says. I'm sure it's very doable. Hopefully it's streamable. I would love to do it. It's just a fun way to pass the time. You can definitely, mix and match and have fun with it. Oh, thank you, Licky Glock. Gotta hydrate. Oh yeah, I needed that. Oh. Talking makes my throat dry. So yeah. Definitely recommend it. I also recommend Inquisitor Martyr. It's super fun, super addictive. Again, it's another game I'd love to stream, but it just doesn't work with our or at least with my streaming tech. As I've seen somehow people stream it, but I haven't figured out how. I've done all of the searching on the internet. I can't seem to find a solution. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll figure it out, because that game is like my addiction. I've already got Crusader Inquisitor up to like, I think he's level 77 now. I've got Psyker Inquisitor up to like, I think 65 or something like that. Yeah, I'd love to. There's lots of inventory management, but it's super fun. Really addictive. Highly recommend if you need some form of catharsis in your life and you just want to mow down hordes and hordes of enemies with zero regrets. Oh, that's awesome. I don't know. I think I do have a system that could technically handle it, but VR costs money, and I've never played on VR before. So maybe it's something to keep for down the line if things go that way, which would be fun. I would do that. Yeah, totally. I love the Battle Sisters. I think they're awesome. Pew pew pew. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, that would be fun. I love the Battle Sisters. Oh, thank you, Alosin. Yeah, I will definitely keep it in mind. Absolutely. For whenever it becomes viable. And we will definitely let you know if things go that way. It sounds like it would be fun. Yeah. Alright, so we are nearing end time. So I would like to thank you all for tuning in to my anxious rambles about Warhammer 40k. You guys are amazing, the best audience, super awesome people. Thank you for tuning into
Cute.
Aw, thank you, Licky Glock. That's really sweet of you. Thank you, Flora. Thank you, Alosin. Yeah, I love streaming for you guys. I'm still getting used to this. I'm still really nervous about it, which is why I probably didn't get any sleep last night, which didn't help me today. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in, everyone.
Cute.
Aw. So, scheduling. Aw, thanks for listening, Kishnam. I really appreciate you being here. You're wonderful people. So, tonight is the second part of our double feature with Mal, who will be playing Dark Souls 1. so tune in for that. Thank you, Flora. Tomorrow will be Flora playing more Elden Ring, as she does. Tactical Thursday for Mal playing more Triangle Strategy. Amazing game. You should definitely tune in. Highly recommend. Friday, Elizabeth will be playing her game early. But you're being unhinged is part of the fun, Flora. But no, like not legit unhinged, just game unhinged. Oh, what will Flora be playing? I'm not sure what Flora. What Elizabeth? Sorry, Flora. Do you remember what Elizabeth will be playing on Friday? I have a blank spot in my head. One shot. Oh, she's still playing one shot. Okay, so tune in on Friday around 2 for one shot because Friday is a holiday. And yeah, so that's why she'll be playing it early. And then Saturday, tune in for me playing my challenge game of Untitled Goose Game from Elizabeth. Honk. There will be apparently lots of honking. I'm looking forward to it. And honking and stealing things. Sunday, we'll be doing live character development for the Maid game. Also a sub goal, which was reached. So yay, that'll be fun. Yay, Maids RPG. Then Monday will be Flora playing more Elden Ring. Yay. And then back to Tuesday afternoon for more of SASCHA Rambles. I will be putting up another poll on my Twitter. Please be sure to check that out once it's up and vote for your favorite selection. I usually leave it up for 4 days, so plenty of time to vote. Yeah. And be sure to check out everybody else's Twitters because we all do fun things. And yeah, so did Elosin want to spend points to have me go to their selection, or because yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'm not picky. Yeah, let's see. And yeah, thanks again for everybody else, everybody tuning in, everybody having fun. All right. Cotton Candy Doll. Final Fantasy 9. Yeah, we can do that, sure. All right. So yeah, thanks to Mighty Elosin's suggestion, we will be rating Cotton Candy Doll, who is playing Final Fantasy 9. I'm sure there will be a huge audience here for that. Final Fantasy always goes over well here. And yeah, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. Please tune in later for Mal playing Dark Souls 1. And yeah, take care, everyone. Thank you. Have a great day.